Some of you have commented and asked me about improving listening skills. I decided to make this video, but before I get into this video, I just want to let you know that I have never taken any IELTS courses. I am 100% self-taught. Alright, so here's the situation. This is you. And this is a person who listens to and understands English fluently. He even has a high band score in IELTS listening. By the way, my own listening score is 7.5, which is lower than I expected because I made some pretty silly mistakes during the test. Now, if you ask someone like him, how do you improve your English? Most of the time, the answer won't be because I did a lot of IELTS listening tests. Instead, they'll say things like, I watch English content, I listen to music, or I watch movies. These answers might seem vague, but they're actually the key to improve listening skills. This video will be divided into two parts. First, I'll share my backstory, how I was exposed to English when I was younger, how I consume English now, and how, over time, English has become like a second language to me. Now I have no trouble speaking to foreigners. Second, since most of my viewers are interested in IELTS, I'll talk about how to use IELTS listening tests effectively and what can you learn from them. When I was young, I remember watching tons of cartoons on TV. Back then, there was no TikTok or Facebook Reels. The two biggest channels were Cartoon Network and Disney Channel. I'm not sure if they are still available now, but they mainly played English cartoons with Vietnamese subtitles. Shows like Phineas and Ferb and Gravity Falls were my favorites. Moreover, in my free time, I watched a lot of Minecraft content of YouTubers who speak English. That's one of the main reasons why I speak English in all of my videos and add Vietnamese subtitles. On top of that, I studied English at school with the Family and Friends curriculum. I think this series is still being used to teach young children today. So the younger version of me was exposed to a lot of English through both entertainment and formal education. Now that I don't watch cartoons anymore, I've shifted to consuming content on phones and PCs. I watch my favorite content in English. Let me show you my YouTube homepage. As you can see here, there's hardly any Vietnamese content here. For those of you preparing for IELTS, I highly recommend subscribing to channels that use academic language like TED or Kout English. This is another YouTube account of mine. As you can see, I listen to a lot of US UK music. Trust me, when I'm at a party and my friends ask me to sing karaoke, I have to tell them, sorry, I only listen to English music, so I can only sing English songs. I can't sing Vietnamese songs. I remember when I was in secondary school, my best friend, also named Bao, and I used to write down the lyrics of songs in a notebook. Songs like We Don't Talk Anymore, Attention, and Save Up You were our favorites. Another inspiring backstory is about my university teacher, Mr. Nam. He once shared with us that back in his youth, without modern devices or an internet connection, he would listen to English on the radio every day while working on a farm. Today, he is one of the most loved teachers in the English language faculty. Now, let's talk about IELTS listening tests. I'm not saying that doing lots of listening tests is bad, but it can be a big waste of time if you just finish the test, get your score, and repeat the process without analyzing your mistakes. After finishing a test, check your mistakes and note them down. You don't want to make the same mistakes twice, do you? Here are some common mistakes I've made that many of you might relate to. Missing the S at the end of the words or not hearing it. Missing a word and trying to guess it instead. Getting confused and losing track of time. Lacking vocabulary to understand the context. Confusing similar sounds like A 8 and age. Knowing the answer but not spelling it correctly. And that's it for today's video. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, please support me by hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I'll do my best to answer them all. Thank you.